courtyard looked strangely maintained. The ground was swept clean. The stone steps were polished smooth. No weeds grew between the cracks. Yet, there were no guards, no servants, no voices. The silence made the air feel heavy. Okeke walked cautiously into the main hall. Inside, he found something even stranger. A large table stood in the center of the room. Fresh food rested on golden plates. Steam rose gently from the dishes. Someone had prepared the meal recently, but no one appeared. Okeke hesitated. The rain outside continued pouring. His stomach tightened with hunger after hours in the forest. Perhaps the owner stepped outside, he muttered. He sat at the table and he ate. When he finished the final bite, the sound came. Footsteps. Slow, heavy. Each step echoed through the stone hall. The floor trembled beneath the weight. Okeke's body froze. The footsteps stopped behind him. A deep voice filled the room. Who allowed you into my palace? Okeke turned slowly. The plate slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. Standing in the shadows was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. Its height nearly touched the carved beams above. Dark fur covered his arms and shoulders. Long claws curved from his hands. Its face resembled a wild animal, yet its eyes carried the awareness of a human mind. The creature stepped forward. The lantern light revealed glowing amber eyes. It was a beast. Okeke dropped to his knees. I lost my way in the storm, he pleaded. I meant no harm.
I lost my way in the
creature moved closer. You ate my food. I will repay
no
you,
harm.
Okeke said quickly. I am a trader.
You ate my
I will bring you
food.
anything you
I was
ask.
starving.
The beast examined him silently. Then its gaze fell upon something sticking out of Okeke's travel bag. A single red rose. The creature picked it up carefully. For whom is this flower? My daughter, Okeke replied. I promised her a gift. The beast studied the rose for a long moment. You love your daughter? Yes. The creature's voice became colder. Then bring her here. Okeke's heart stopped. What? If she comes willingly, you will leave this palace alive. The hall fell silent. And if I refuse? Okeke asked. The beast dragged one claw slowly across the stone floor. Then you will never leave this forest. When Okeke returned home and told the story, his hands trembled. I will return to the palace, he said. I cannot allow you to face that creature. Amaka listened quietly. Then she asked 3 questions. Did the beast attack you? No. Did it harm you? No. Did it allow you to leave? Okeke nodded slowly. Amaka stood. Then I will go. Her father stared at her in disbelief, but Amaka had already made her decision. At sunrise the next morning, she walked toward Odu Forest. The palace gate opened when she pushed it. The courtyard was silent. Moments later, the heavy footsteps returned. The beast stepped from the shadows. Amaka looked directly at him. She did not run. She did not scream. Instead, she said calmly, So, you are the creature everyone fears. The beast studied her face carefully. You are not afraid. Fear does not answer questions, she replied. For the first time in many years, the beast did not know what to say. Days passed. Amaka explored the palace. She discovered paintings hanging on the walls. They showed a young prince wearing royal robes. She found musical instruments covered in dust, shelves filled with old books, royal clothing folded carefully in wooden chests. Yet, only one living being remained inside the palace, the beast. One evening, during dinner, she asked, Who lived here before? The beast remained silent, but Amaka had already noticed the truth. This palace once belonged to a prince, and somehow that prince had disappeared. One night, Amaka walked into the palace garden. At the center stood a glowing rose tree. The beast stood beside it. His claws touched the petals gently. His expression carried deep sadness. Amaka finally understood. You were the prince. The beast did not deny it. Years earlier, the prince ruled with cruelty and arrogance. A wandering woman once came to the palace seeking shelter. The prince mocked her and ordered her removed. But the woman was no ordinary traveler. She was a powerful sorceress. Before leaving, she spoke a curse. If your heart behaves like a beast, then a beast ye shall become. From that moment, the prince's body transformed, and the palace became his prison. Only one thing could break the curse. Someone had to see the man inside the monster and choose compassion over fear. For many years, no one stayed long enough to do that, until Amaka arrived. Weeks later, Amaka asked permission to visit her father. The beast allowed her to leave. But when several days passed without her return, the creature lost hope. He stopped eating. He stopped leaving the garden. When Amaka returned, she found him lying weak beside the rose tree. "You came back," he whispered. "Of course," I said. Then she spoke the words that changed everything. "You are not a monster." The wind swept through the garden. Light surrounded the rose tree. The beast's claws began to fade. The fur disappeared. The creature's form changed. Moments later, a young man stood before her. The prince had returned. Morning sunlight slowly spread across Umana village. Women arranged baskets of vegetables in the market. Children ran across the dusty road. Farmers prepared their tools for the day. Then suddenly, someone pointed toward the village entrance. "Look!" People turned their heads. Two figures were walking down the path from the forest. One of them was Amaka. The other was a man the villagers had never seen before. Tall, wearing royal robes, a coral bead crown rested on his head. The villagers whispered among themselves, "Who is that? Where did he come from?" Amaka's father stepped forward slowly. His eyes widened. He recognized the man's eyes. They were the same eyes that once glowed in the darkness of the palace. "The beast," he whispered in shock. Amaka smiled gently. "He is not a beast anymore." The prince stepped forward. He looked at the villagers who once feared the palace in the forest. Then he spoke with humility. "I was once the ruler of the palace in Odu Forest, but because of pride, my heart turned cold, and because of that, I was cursed." The villagers listened in silence. "If not for Amaka," he continued, "I would still be trapped inside that darkness." He bowed his head respectfully. "And for the rest of my life, I will rule with kindness." The prince kept his promise. He listened to farmers. He helped traders. He protected the weak. And the palace that once frightened the entire village became a place of welcome, a place where anyone could seek help. And so the monster of Odu Forest disappeared forever.